Hello everyone, Eyal Levi here from URM Academy Nail the Mix, and I am going to unbox Cutthroat by Blessthefall, which is being mixed this September 2018 on Nail the Mix by none other than Tyler Smyth. So I've got the tracks to the song here, the multi-tracks, and just to show you, there are no plugins on everything, just some very, very basic, and I mean basic balances. And let's see what we got. Looks like we've got some drums, 2 tracks of bass, a lot of guitars that, as you'll be able to hear later, there's some really interesting stuff done with these guitars. If you hate the guitars, you have all the DIs. You want to reamp them yourself. And quite a few vocals here. And then a good amount of synth. So there's some production going on in this track. Let's get into it. Let's start with these drums. Just going to solo them so we can just hear what we're working with to start. Okay, so I'm going to go with these drums have been programmed, which is a great thing because for the past many months, we've had lots of real drums on Nail the Mix presented in all different production styles, from Lamb of God, where there were real drums performed piece by piece, to stuff like Opeth or Carnival, where it's all about, the whole kit sound. But we really haven't done much program stuff, and hey, let's face it, in this day and age, if you're going to be mixing professionally or not professionally, you're going to be dealing with programmed drums. And as a mixer, it's your job to make these work in a mix. Like it doesn't matter if you agree with them or disagree with them, you should still know how to work with them. So and you have everything here to be able to get a great sound with. Looks like give you both a kick and a kick room. Same with the snare. Let's hear what this snare accent right here is all about. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. These things happen. I am, after all, a human being that makes mistakes. So it's almost like the snare accent is like another version of the snare room. Different pitch, slightly different sound, but it appears that it's in this type of part where the snare is just hanging out forever. You like to make those huge, so you oftentimes make those huge by adding room samples, accent samples. Sometimes people add explosions, like any sort of stuff, but the idea is just to have it long and huge and filling up that space. Yeah, those are supposed to be the bigger hits. Got some toms, and in following suit with the kick and the snare, you have both a tom and a tom room, which is nice of him to provide. These room tracks are the secret to getting these programmed drums to sound good. I've seen lots of productions, or been involved with lots of productions of programmed drums, and the thing that I've noticed really makes the big difference with them is how velocities are handled, but then also how room sounds are handled, because those rooms are what will help them sound less like a typewriter or a machine. All right, we have an overhead track, and looks like these stereo rooms are more for the intro than anything, and it doesn't really matter because there are rooms on the rest of the kit. That's a cool intro. See, and these drums feel really good. One thing that programmed drums often lack is good feel. They usually feel really stiff and just lifeless and stupid. And stupid. Really, really fucking stupid. But these, I like these. They feel good. They have good pocket to them. The sounds are good enough to work with, and obviously you can lay your own. He gives you everything you need with the room tracks there. And like I said before, I'm just going to sound redundant on this point, but if you are mixing bands in 2018, you really should know how to deal with programmed drums. Doesn't mean that you prefer them, doesn't mean that they're your favorite thing on earth. Doesn't matter. The point is, you're going to come across them, and unless you want to turn everybody away that uses programmed drums, which I don't suggest, because sometimes people who use programmed drums on one record, if you really impress them, they'll come back to you on the next one with a real drummer. There's all kinds of reasons for why programmed drums may have happened. Maybe they do have a great drummer, but he injured himself. Like, I know that happened with Meshuggah once. You never really know what the reason is, and sometimes they're totally valid reasons. So don't be that guy who shoots his own career in the foot, and learn how to process these, learn how to work with them so that you can make them sound as good as possible. Don't be that guy. However, do what you want. It's your career, but that's my advice to you. All right, let's check out the bass. Looks like we have it split up into 2 tracks, bass DI, bass sub. Let's hear the DI. All right, so the bass sub sounds programmed to me, which is actually a really good technique. I've done that many, many times. Sometimes it sounds weird, other times it doesn't. So it's not something that you should use as a hard and fast rule. But the reason that people do this is because sometimes bass strings are very hard to get into perfect tune. Just how hard the bassist hits with his pick, and just the very nature of bass strings means that sometimes they're going to be really out of tune, and nothing will destroy the size of a mix bigger than an out of tune low end. You need it to be perfectly in tune so that your foundation is solid, and what comes up over it and what gets layered on top doesn't sound sour. Got to get the low end in tune, and at times it's not always possible with bass performances. So one of the things that people do is they will program the bass sub and perform the underneath the performance, and then cut all the lows out of the performed bass, all the subs out of performed bass, and have the programmed track be just the bass. Now, I don't know if this bass is completely programmed or performed, but this technique works either way. I know that some of you guys are going to be like, oh, it's programmed, blah, 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 blah. This isn't how real music's made. Real music, blah, 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 all that stupid shit. And let me just tell you that that's easy to say until you get a client whose bass player is terrible, and you can't play the tracks for whatever reason, and you have no choice, but you have to do this, or just because the weather got really, really terrible and you can't get your bass in tune. And the option is either do something like this, or it's going to be in tune, or have out of tune bass. And you have to decide what's more important to you. I would rather have it in tune low end. Works great with those drums. let's look at the guitars. We got some cleans here and some rhythms. Looks like the rhythm already came in a stereo track. Oh, look, guitar heavy. I wonder what the difference is between guitar heavy and guitar rhythm. That's a good tone. I'm gonna turn this up a little. I'm gonna turn this up just a little bit because I know that it's way quiet compared to everything else. Nice. Let's hear this part here. This is where those snare accents came in. You see what I mean? So there's a gap right here where the snares hit. You see what I mean? There's that gap. And then this accent snare here. Right here. Then again right here. So this is exactly what I was talking about. These accent snares are meant to help fill up this space. And you need that because there's gaps in the rhythm section. See what these bridge clean and verse cleans are all about. Oh, what a nice sound. Let's hear this one. Same part, just different treatment, I guess. Let's hear what. So your trick, the trick here is going to be to get these guitar layers to work without getting lost or overtaking everything else. So definitely, I think they're a little too loud right now. What's his first riff? Nice. Let's see what some. Okay, guitar intro lo-fi. Let's see what that's all about. All right, you're supposed to put a lo-fi on that. All right, guitar cut effect. Let's see what that's all about. This is what I meant. Like, that sounds like a synth, and if you didn't have these tracks, you might think it's a synth, but that's actually a guitar. I love this kind of shit, by the way. Let's see what this chorus lead is all about. This is good stuff. This is really, really well layered and just sounds good. These parts aren't crazy complex, but they don't need to be. They just sound good. Obviously, that needs to be mixed, and those levels are way off. See what this bridge lead is all about. Awesome. So you got some sweet guitars there and some sweet guitar effects. And like I said before, all these DIs you can work with. Oh, what's one thing I missed? Let's see what this is. It's a DI intro riff bridge. Whoops. Okay. Let's bring in the effects before I get to the vocals. I'm going to actually bring them up here so that's easier to work with. Actually, a little further up. Cool. Let's see what we got. Got a saw lead, an evolving choir, better than a devolving choir, chorus choir, synth drama, intro rhythm, weird drums, creepy drums. Let's just hear some synth on its own. I'm gonna play us just the synths. Let's see what we're working with. That's cool. You know why that's cool? Because it's good arrangement. There are parts where those types of sounds are synth and some of them are guitars, and it's hard to tell the difference, but it's different enough to where it keeps it interesting throughout the whole song. I like it. Good job, guys. Let's see what this synth Tyler swell is. Nice. It looks like you have a lot of these little swells, and I'm guessing BD is bass drop. Yes, BD is bass drop. You have some bass drops in this. Different volume bass drops, it looks like. Clearly the chorus. Have I said how much I like the chord progression in the chorus? That is a great chord progression. This is a really good chorus. I just want you to hear how that choir works in the chorus. Just helps it sound epic and beautiful. Let's hear what this weird drone is all about. Creepy drone. Really quiet. Woo, creepy. So that's your evolving choir with this clean guitar on the bridge, and that's it. And you're gonna have to automate in order to not let that get out of hand. Just saying. All right, let's get into some vocals. See what we got. All right, we got a vocal chorus, left and right vocal screams. Looks like some alt vocals and swirlies. More screams, quadrupled, and a main verse. And it looks like it's not doubled or tripled except for these screams. Let's hear what we got here.
I was walking from silence, on from my dream.
You can't say shit, you little pig.
It's all me together.
Sounds nice.
Oh, but I can't feel numb. I felt it all, but I can't feel numb.
So you have what you need to make those sound huge. Let's hear what this chorus is.
So stay away. We've been down this road before. Been barely holding on for so long.
That'll get stuck in your head. I'm just warning you.
So stay away. Been down this road before. Been barely holding on for so long.
Yeah, so your challenge is going to be to get that all even sounding, because there's like these volume fluctuations whenever he jumps up to the higher notes, which is a natural thing to happen with vocals. You're going to have to get these vocals totally smooth and just sitting right out front like a pop mix. And it's a great chorus. Respect how great of a chorus it is. Make it great. Make the mix sound great. Let's hear what these alternate vocals are.
So keep spitting me out a bad taste in your mouth. You always say to yourself that you'll change.
Nice. So as you can hear, the vocals go through different styles for different arrangements, and the size of the amount of layers switches it up depending on what's going on. You have a lot to dig into, but my advice to you is to really respect what the point of this song is. It's supposed to have a huge chorus. It's supposed to slam. Make those fake drums sound as big as you possibly can, and just go for size and epic depth on this, and you'll probably do all right. So this has been Eyal Levi unboxing Cutthroat by Blessthefall, which is mixed by Tyler Smyth on September 2018's Nail the Mix. See you later, guys.